Yo guys, what is going on? Zidane here, and today I'm going to be going over the exact pre-launch strategy we used with one of our small creators to generate 10K in revenue in just 7 days time without even launching a product. Now the reason why I'm making this video today is that when a lot of people go to launch with a creator, they'll sign the creator up and they'll spend the first 6 weeks building out a course, for example. What happens in that time is the creator sat there thinking, well, I've just paid a setup fee with this person, they've not made me any money yet, we've only just got a course, and they lose trust, they lose confidence in this person, and you've actually made them lose money, and you've hurt that creator over that period of time. Because if you had a better strategy, you could have done something way better, way more efficient, and get way better results. So again, this strategy here is what we found success with, and one of the biggest things I need to say is you need to be an independent thinker of all times. This is what we found to work with our creator by having autonomous thinking, thinking like an independent, and we identified that this strategy would work best with our creator. Now, how this works is incredibly simple. If you're working with a creator, you should already be posted on, for example, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, at least 2 out of these 3 platforms. Now, the goal of the pre-launch is to make it as easy as possible for the creator so that they have to do as little work as possible. So all we're going to do is on Instagram, we're going to throw up a story post like this. On YouTube, we're going to post a video that has a CTA or in the beginning announces that you're looking for one-to-one people to work with. And again, the bio in TikTok or the CTA on a TikTok video, again, super simple, low friction, give the person the framework. You can even create the story for them. For example, this is exactly like what we would post. Is 2025 has arrived, it's time to do something I've never done before. I'm looking for 5 students who want to work full one-to-one access with me. Swipe up and reply one-to-one. So again, the reason why this works so well is because the best creators to do this type of thing with are ones who haven't sold before or who haven't had success selling before. So once you post something like this, you're going to get a bunch of people swiping up, and then from that point there, you are just going to close them on one-to-one access. And again, you don't need to coin it as like a product. You don't need to create a fancy course, because these people are going to be fans of this creator. They were going to love to have one-to-one access, and selling 5 to 10 of these should be incredibly easy. And if you don't manage to do it, then the creator that you're working with, you should never have signed him, because he's not in a position where he can sell to his audience yet, and he needs to build his authority. So in terms of price range and amount of people, it's 5 to 10 people and anywhere from 1.5 to 3K. What's going to make it 1.5K is if they're in a niche like fitness, for example. What's going to make it 3K is if they're in a very high profitable niche, like for example trading, and he's going to teach them one-to-one how to trade. 5 to 10 students, the number of that depends on the amount of authority and the number of followers he's got across these platforms. Again, you're going to gauge the price and you're going to gauge the volume of one-to-one access that you sell. Now, once you've sold that one-to-one access, you've obviously just created a lot of cash, which is amazing. But then what that's going to mean is then fulfilling that product. So then how do you fulfill that product? Well, it's very simple. And obviously you have to slightly tailor it depending on the niche. But we'll just go with like trading, for example. The creator would spend 2 hours a week on 2 calls, for example, breaking down his trading strategy and then doing a Q&A where he answers questions and he delivers value. The students get to ask questions to the creator. Now, all this time while this is going on, you're going to be with the creator, holding their hand every step of the way and writing down and researching every single thing that goes down while this process is happening. That's then going to give you all the research and the information that you need to build a course. A lot of people build a course from either what they think is going to work, from interviewing the creator, or from doing research in the DMs. Now, the problem is, putting too much of it on the creator is, again, you're making that creator's life harder. Doing research in the DMs, usually you're going to be speaking to people who are never going to buy anyway, so then you actually end up creating a product from people who you're never ever going to try to serve anyway, so it's completely pointless. Doing it this way with the students from one-to-one access, what this means is that everyone who you're building the course off and you're collecting information on is your perfect ICP, because they are a paying customer who is a fan of the audience, just like everyone else who's going to be on these platforms. So who better to build a product off than those people? So once you've collected all your data across the 2 to 3 weeks of this creator running the one-to-one access little program, you're then going to be able to build a course fully independently on your own, and then just present that to the creator like, hey, look, now we're ready to launch. And that is essentially the entire pre-launch process. It is way smarter and it's the most efficient way to do it without stressing the creator out, and he's just going to think you're a god, because what you've done in that 21 to 28 days time of pre-launching is you've now got 100% trust in each other. Well, why? Because you've created him a bunch of cash, you've created a product, you've done loads of things without him, he's going to trust you. You've even got 5 to 10 testimonials before you've ever even launched. This is so good because you're going to have a bunch of people who have already edified your product for you before even launching. Incredible. You then got a proven product. You haven't wasted 6 weeks building a product to find no one likes it, or a school community that everyone thinks is shit and churns from. You have a proven product because you've done research on proven people. And most importantly, you've created a lot of cash in a short amount of time. The reason why this is the number one thing is because at the end of the day, the only thing the creator partnered with you for is to create them a bunch of cash. So the quicker you do that, the more authority you gain, and it's a lot easier to have conversations or tell a creator to do something once you've collected them cash. And that right there is the entire pre-launch strategy. It's so simple. I've given you the exact steps that you do on the social media platforms. I've given you the exact thing you need to say on the Instagram to get people to swipe up. I've then told you what the one-to-one access needs to be. It's just going to be group coaching calls. And then I've told you how you actually use that to build your actual product for post-launch is just by being involved in that process. And on the way to doing it, you're going to have collected a fuck ton of cash, and your creator is now going to love you. And then that just makes this whole launch period here very, very, very simple. And again, I'm not going to go too much into the actual launch. This is just a very basic system. And yeah, I hope you guys have found a lot of value from that video. So if you just follow this with any creator, you will have success as long as they actually have authority in their niche. And this is what we just used with one of our creators to collect 10K in 7 days. He was in the fitness niche and we only looked to get 5 people on board. The reason being is because he was a fairly small creator, relatively speaking, and his audience was typically of a very, very young age demographic. So, charging 3K and getting 10 people to do that wasn't really going to be accessible for us. And that's why I say independent thinking is the best thing to do, because with some creators, right, it might be better just to go straight into the launch phase if you can build that course quick enough. A lot of the mistakes I see is that people spend way too long in the pre-launch phase and don't actually collect any cash, and that leads to the creator feeling hard done by and they're down. So by using this system, you get to create the course still for them, but you also get to create a fuck ton of cash, and you actually get to understand that niche and that industry and what those clients are going to want more than anyone, which means when you are in the launch phase and you're hiring the closers and you're hiring the setters, you're going to be able to give them a very comprehensive breakdown of what that audience is like and how to close them. So guys, that is everything. Thank you. Zidane over and out. Peace.